downplay that October 7th was also bad and distinguish between analysis and justification. Yeah, unfortunately, well, the reason why people, I mean, I'm of course going to do that because it's, I have consistent principles on this matter. The problem, however, is that most people don't see it and don't really care about it, and will just go, you're against the Israeli occupation, you're against the apartheid, which means you're anti-Semitic. You. What I see in Be'eri is smoke in the northern area. For the first time since October 7, we get a chance to see.
אנחנו מקבלים הזדמנות נדירה לראות מלמעלה את הטרגדיה של קיבוץ בארי. כפי שהכוחות ותושבי הקיבוץ בשעה 4:20 אחר הצהריים.
At 4:20 p.m., 9 hours after hundreds of vandals stormed Be'eri, entire neighborhoods were burning.
שחדרו לבארי מאות מחבלים. שכונות שלמות בקיבוץ עולות באש.
I'm watching now from above Be'eri to the north. I see smoke in the north, west of the cemetery. Are there burnt houses there? Yes, yes. This documentation reveals the intensity of the fighting and the unbelievable number of vandals who took control of the town. It is documented that the tank was aiding the forces at the house of Pesi and it targeted the house. Suddenly they brought a tank and I said to a soldier, tell me, did you shell the house? Did the hostages get hurt? I think that might be Yasmin Parat speaking there. I can't tell, but this was her testimony as well about the tank shelling in Kibbutz Be'eri that she watched from afar. She watched from above a hilltop. He said, we are only targeting the side of the walls and houses to demolish them. This makes the work of the IDF and Special Forces look stranger because every house had 15 hostages inside. Seeing a tank entering Be'eri and walking on the street, there it is. There was shelling. Oh my God. Suddenly a strong explosion sound and I can't move my leg. A tank here, it was completely clear to me I was hit and I had a shrapnel from the tank.
לגמרי. אני נפגעתי ועדי מהרסיס של הפגז של הטנק. כי זה היה ממש באותו רגע.
The new documentation reveals how Pasi's house was shelled at 5:30.
כבר בשעה 5:30 באור יום, שעה וחצי אחרי שהגיעו
1 hour and a half after the forces reached the area, the forces who were there said it was a warning shot.
אחריו הטנק נפגע.
Then a tank was hit. Then another tank came to fulfill the mission.
טנק אחר שהשלים את המשימה.
They're shooting there. Wow. In this documentation, we see clear scenes of another failure that we unveiled. A large number of forces were waiting at the entrance of the to Be'eri several hours after noon, and they did not enter the town. These vehicles were documented at 4:30 p.m. on Saturday during the most intense time of fighting in the town. They were lining from 232 Street until the yellow entrance of the town. At 6:10 p.m., I saw a large number of soldiers, dozens of vehicles of border guards and others. This is the most cop-like army we've ever seen. I mean, it is. They are cops. Yes, that's the point. They are cop-like. We are watching IDF aerial footage over the Israeli forces entering their own kibbutzim and opening tank fire upon the houses that also, alongside Palestinian militants, featured hostages. These houses were blown up by the Israeli tanks. Israeli tanks that might have been operated by people who were not very familiar, or even tanks operated by actual, veteran tank operatives, I guess. Now, in that circumstance, of course, just like with the helicopter fire that hit cars traveling in and out of Gaza, okay, that was unleashed upon cars traveling in and out of Gaza near the Nova Festival. There are, of course, casualties of Israeli civilians that the Israeli military itself ended up killing. But given the number of civilian casualties, the many videos that are readily available from October 7 and the military operations, it is, by my estimation, still the majority of the civilians killed were not killed by the IDF, but instead by Palestinian militants and maybe even criminal elements that also went through the border wall that was opened up. I want people to understand that it's copium to say that this is not the case. It's copium to say that, like, oh yeah, no, it's just IDF killed all the civilians and all of the Hamas and all of the Palestinian militancy, like, on October 7th were, you always have to do this when we talk about Israel kills their own. No, not always. But this is one instance that deserves clarity, in my opinion.
מאות חיילים, מאות.
Do I believe that Hamas is a better civilian to military member ratio? Yes. Like October 7 in comparison to the 70 plus days that have passed since October 7, undeniable that Israel's targeting of a civilian population is significantly worse. 100%. And that has always been the case. That asymmetry of violence always benefits the colonizing power, the colonial power. Israel is the militarized state with a nuke, multiple nukes. Like, it's not even a conversation. By the way, yeah, this does, I hate to say I told you so, but this does absolutely support my theory that Israel is fine with blowing up buildings with their own people inside if there also happens to be Palestinians there also. Why do you ignore the analysis of more well-read people on this? Wait, what? Does not mean equation. 7th is an act